moisture through a lot of the summer. It kind of petered out in August and September, but we had quite a bit of stockpiled standing forage, so there is a little something for these cattle to eat yet. These are coming 2-year-old bred heifers. We did a round of AI on them to start calving late January, and then they should be all through calving by March 15th or so. Hoping to have them bred up and calving a little earlier than the mature cows, such that they can rebreed, because they have those metabolic demands as young heifers. With their first calf, freeze branded for the first time this year. Happy with the way some of them turned out, not so happy with others, but like anything, there's a learning curve to that. But the cattle are, as a byproduct of feeding them out of buckets for a whole winter, they are dead tame. Smoky heifer has come a long way. We like her quite a bit. But a nice group of bred heifers, we think, would be nice type cows for us. Really the first group that I've been with all the way from calving to now. I'll calve them out, early next winter, and just excited about them. It's been fun to watch them grow. One of the most rewarding parts. Hi, girls. Hi. Where's your sisters? Where's your sisters? One straggler coming in over there. Might be my very favorite heifer. We'll give them just a little more feed. These heifers weren't all raised here. My mother-in-law raised half of them. She was gracious enough to help us start our cow herd, improve our cow herd by sending us these heifers. We're just dang excited to see what they're capable of doing. This heifer over here is my very favorite one of the bunch. She's out of our herd sire. 31E is his name. So she'd be like probably a 3/8 semi. So I'm not really pushing them yet on feed. We still got a little standing forage left, but here in the next month or so, these heifers are going to calve in January, and I want them to be in a positive plane of nutrition going into calving. So I'm going to start pushing them a little more. This is mainly for the sake of surveillance. Just checking everybody and also breaking them to come to my truck so that it's easy to catch them. In the process of helping somebody I know get a nice bale bed and feeder for their pickup, and this is not what I would characterize as nice. And I was asking the gentleman who I was getting a price quote from what he thought about various brands of feeder, and he said, stay away from the Mighty Handies, they're basically junk. Here's my Mighty Handy. And for me, it's an upgrade. It's an upgrade from the 5-gallon bucket. Yellow pine or Doug fir or whatever your friendly neighborhood Lowe's has to offer. It's got these Harbor Freight D-ring hooks attached to the cross members that are holding on the deck boards. If you'll notice how somewhat the wood is somewhat repelling water. If you see there where my fingers are swiping, It's a little bit dust, but also it's kind of the oil film from this treatment that we put on the deck boards, which consists of 50% diesel fuel, 50% used motor oil from my Hustler lawnmower. Out the door, the feeder, the bed, the hardware, probably at everything $1,500 or so. $1,300 pickup, new tires, $500, a couple little maintenance things here and there. Probably all together I'm into the feed rig for less than $4,000. Which last year I fed everything through the muck and mud all winter long with buckets that I would reach into a bulk bag and scoop out of, which works, you know, temporarily, but when you do it for 6 straight months, you start to get some back problems. So that was the rationale for this heavy-duty build. There's half these cattle are over there on the other side hill. We'll give them a little more when they get over here. So whenever I was a little kid, I used to ride these pastures on horseback every day with my grandpa in summer times, and we would count our cows and check them. You know, now he's gone. We don't have horses that we use anymore, though I do miss those days, and they're actually better for this terrain, and they don't create the footprint that our vehicles create on the land. But he taught me the importance of counting them, you know, taking inventory, knowing what you have, what's available to you, and taking stock of that, but also as a steward of the cattle to make sure that they're okay. There's not one down or missing that needs attention, not only because they are economically valuable, but because we care about their well-being. So when the cattle are at grass, you know, it's a 20-minute drive one way for me to get out here. I don't count the cattle at grass every day, but I trade with my uncle, so we get eyes on the cattle every day, so that we can meet their needs as they arise. So there's a handful of calves out here on these cows. You'll see this other group of calves in a minute that we weaned, but the thought is to try to condense our calving season, which to me is spread out a little too far, and it's kind of like a snake I cut the head off of this year at preg check. Anything that wasn't pregnant to calve by May 1st of 22, if they were open, I just left them open, and we're going to convert some of these to fall calvers, which I've never fall calved before, but there's a ton of available information on why having a narrow calving window is valuable. More uniform calf size, less chance of venereal disease in the cows. Lots of good reasons. And that's kind of what I'm shooting for. And then eventually maybe we'll roll some of those falls, back into early spring calving. But it's going to be a multi-year process. These cattle all look okay for now. Choice loose mineral that they consume at their own leisure, hopefully to make up for whatever nutrient deficits may be in their diet, which vary depending on the time of year, what the grass is doing, their metabolic demands which are always higher in young growing heifers than they are in cows, but variable. Probably now mid gestation would be the time of lowest metabolic need, but as we get into the third trimester of their gestation here soon, you know, their metabolic needs will increase. So I want to make sure that mineral's available to them all the time, that it's as fresh as it possibly could be, and that they can, you know, consume it at their own free will. Now, of course, the guys that make the mineral want, you know, them to eat as much as possible, because then I have to buy more. They feel good today with the weather. It's finally cooled off, and they're nice and wet today, and feeling good. So, but yeah, I just want that mineral out for them. I want it as fresh as it could feasibly be. I'd probably replace mineral, you know, once every 5 to 8 days, just depending on their consumption.